Hi guys, this is Jerry, and today is the eclipse. The eclipse is currently happening, but I wanted to talk about the moon and the esoteric or the occult information regarding the moon. So again, if you're gonna get triggered or you don't want to hear about some stuff about the moon, then you can just click off. But I am going to continue talking about what the moon really is and why it is up there. So, before the moon, there was no moon. So, the Dogon tribe ascribes to it, it's written or it's in their oral traditions that there was a time where there was no moon. And the old moon was replaced with the current moon that we're seeing up in the sky right now. So the moon that we're seeing up in the sky is an artificial moon. It was placed there by the Saturn makers, or if you want to call them the Saturnians, or basically the devil worshippers, whatever, the Luciferian worshippers, the Saturn worshippers that wanted to control the population. Okay? So, the moon being implanted, the moon being towed into the atmosphere is right now called a theory, and it's very much popularized by David Icke. Okay? But as we can see, because the veil is very thin on Earth, there has been like random explosions on the moon. There has been like random things popping out from the moon. A lot of mystery about what's going on with the moon. What is happening with the moon? So, that being all said, why would they put an artificial moon? Why is there an artificial moon up in the sky? Why would they take away our original moon, and why would they put a new moon up there? So, like I told you, it's artificial. It's made up of artificial material, and there's a lot of activity on the other side of the moon, so that's where they have their bases at. That's where they have their alien bases at. And if you guys were to take a picture of the moon, if you were to take a picture of it on both sides, basically it would have the imprint, or it would have the lines of the Earth continents on the moon. So literally you would see what the land masses were imprinted on the moon. So there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of oral traditions, there's a lot of our ancient people are gonna say that moon is fucking fake. It is so freaking fake. And as the veil is thinning every single day, some people are seeing 2 moons, some people are seeing 3 moons, some people again have been seeing spaceships basically peeking out from the moon. There's just a lot of evidence going around telling us what has been happening with the moon. The moon is a part of the Saturn moon matrix. So the rings on the Saturn were created, and the moon itself was towed into our system because it subjugates the women hard. Hey guys, I wanted to share some information that I think will be of help to you. I'm going to link down below this Facebook group that basically gives all the information in a very concise and compact way. But I especially wanted to highlight this part, and the quote is, "The moon is not the sacred feminine. It's a mirror of distortion. The true feminine comes from the solar womb of Source, not from artificial lunar cycles." I also wanted to mention that the galactic center, or basically the womb of the entire universe, was shown to us from up above, or the Milky Way was shown from up above. This past year, there was a lot of videos of people seeing it. So because now the earth is in the center, it is faced towards the center, we are receiving direct contact with the divine mother or the divine womb. And yeah, guys, that's how we definitely know things are changing for us. I also wanted to give credence. I wanted to show you guys what other tribes have talked about. So the Dogon tribe, they say there was a time before the moon when humans were taller, stronger, and spiritually more advanced. The moon's arrival, they claim, changed life's balance. Baltic mythology mentions the moon as a problematic figure, sometimes punished or broken, suggesting its presence was unnatural or disruptive. And other cultures, Zulu, Mayan, have similar stories about the sky being different in primordial times. Lastly, I really like this quote that I read, and I think this goes along with what we're seeing in the world, the veil being pulled back. Walk not by borrowed light, walk by the flame that cannot be dimmed. Because now we cannot control our menstrual cycles, and not only this is also where the moon can be used as some sort of like transmitter of frequency, and it can start subjugating the energies of the people on earth. So again, this is where we lost our psychic intuition. This is where we lost all of our light body god powers, and we lost all of our psychic powers because this artificial moon was put into place. Not only is the moon very important to basically degrade us, it's also on the top of the moon. There is a place where it's kind of like a recycling system, and every time a soul leaves Earth and it goes towards the light, because that's what they try to tell you. They tell you, hey, you need to reach the light when you leave Earth. So when you go towards the light, you're actually going towards a recycling center or system that's on top of the moon, and it pings you back to Earth. You literally fly back to Earth. So that is where you get the term that Earth is a prison planet, because you just keep going through the same reincarnations over and over again. You keep going through the same harsh karma, you keep going through the same lessons, because again, the Saturn moon matrix is in place. Everything is still in place. Alright, so basically, as I was saying, the Saturn moon matrix is very important to harvest our energy. It's very important for them to be in connection in order for us to go through the reincarnation over and over and over and over and over again. That being said, if you want to know the connection or you want to know more about Saturn, I highly suggest that you read the book, The Ringmakers of Saturn. And again, he talks about basically the rings were also created, and Saturn itself emits frequencies towards the moon, and the moon acts like a relay station, whatever you want to call it, like a transmitter that also degrades and emits this energy back towards Earth. So again, that is why the moon causes a lot of chaos. That is why the moon basically subjugates the woman to the upteenth degree. So all of that being said, the ancients talk about the lunar energy being evil. They talk about a time before the moon was here, and they talk about the time where they finally saw the new moon in the sky. So I'm going to go with the ancient people. I'm going to go with my ancestors. I'm going to listen to what I feel in my intuition, and again, This has been cleverly set up. This has been cleverly set up by Saturnians, Luciferians, factions of the dark sorcerers, whatever you want to call them, the dark priests of the Atlantean times. And all of this relates to you. All of this comes back down to you, because with this information, you know that the freaking moon is artificial, you know it's freaking fake, so there no longer needs to be a worship of the moon. And the thing that a lot of people, a lot of the ancestors did worship, because it's impossible, or it's nearly impossible to take out or to take away from us, is basically the sun. Going back to the sun worship, reveling in the sun, and that is what I'm trying to do more of as well, is trying to get those light codes from the sun. I hope what you guys learned from this video is that the Saturn and the moon are a harvesting system, okay? This is what makes Earth basically the prison planet, is because a lot of souls go towards the light, they get pinged back from the moon and back to the Earth, and they can never leave this place, and they're always learning the same lessons, going through the same karmic cycles. Also, the moon itself emits a lot of these low frequency waves towards Earth, making it very hard for us to live our daily lives, not being in control of our emotions, just a lot of chaos happening because of this. So the moon used to be feminine and was upgrading and was continuing this divine feminine reverence. But again, disconnecting from the moon, realizing what it truly is, will help you a lot. And also the events that are happening currently in the world will also help you disconnect from what seems to, or what appears to be happening, because once these frequencies hit the Earth, it places a grid over the Earth. It places some sort of weird energy network over the Earth. So if you want to be subjugated, you want to continue being one of the little sheep, then you're just going to keep seeing things as everybody else sees them. But you yourself, you can take this time and you can research about this, you can educate yourself about this, and you can start detaching yourself from the system that was never made for you. And I also want to say that the eclipses, everything has been programmed. They always like to schedule these things. So when they schedule the blood moon eclipse, when they schedule, full moons to happen, like back to back, this is not a time for you to go into that chaotic energy that they want to basically take for themselves. It's a time for you to take that energy and use it for your own good, and go inwards and do the daily practices, do the daily cleansings during these times, because they very much like to use these days of the moon and for their own rituals, for their own basically taking the loosh from the people, the negative energies and fears from the people. Alright, guys, I think I'm gonna leave it as there. I think you guys get the point. A lot of us are going back to the worship of the divine feminine. A lot of us are going back to that sun worship, and I think we're going to see that this moon goes away. It's going to be going away. A lot of us are seeing double moons, a lot of us are seeing different things, but I think we're going to see that it needs to leave during the Golden Age. And the factions of the Atlanteans, the Dark Atlanteans, they're not going to continue their reign. They're not continuing their reign. And as you guys can tell from the state of the world, it's all in chaos because of that, because they are leaving and they have to leave with all of their bullshit and bullcrap and all of their technologies that were harnessing the energy of the humans on Earth. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave it as there. Let me know what you guys think, and peace.